Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to another video. Thanks for joining me once again. First of all, I'd just like to say that since a recent video I did, which was 10 terrible albums in your collection, I've had a lot of new subscribers. So I'd just like to say to those people, thanks very much for subscribing to my channel. I really appreciate it. And I got a lot of really interesting feedback for that video. So if you're new, thanks a lot and welcome. And I hope you continue to watch the videos. Thanks guys, I really appreciate it. Alright, so what I'm doing in this video today is just a quick CD update. These are some second-hand CDs I picked up recently. I was just walking around in a shopping mall and I just came across this random bargain bin and there was a shitload of really good titles actually at a cheap price for this country, second-hand. And I grabbed quite a few of them and I said, oh, there's a few more I'd quite like, but I said, oh, maybe I'll leave those other ones for next time. And stupidly, I hesitated on those, and then when I went back the second time, those were gone. So, lesson learned, never hesitate. If you see something you like, just buy it. But anyway, I did pick up 6 CDs from this second-hand bargain bin, and I'm really pleased with these. So, yeah, I'm just going to talk about those today. Now, a lot of these are quite mainstream, well-known bands in most cases, but I'm still interested to talk about them, so here we go. All right, so first of all, the first 2 albums, I know, Scott, if you're watching, you're going to like these. So that's a giveaway, it's AC/DC. So the first one I picked up was AC/DC with Flick of the Switch. So this is a 1983 album from the band. So sort of very basic stenciled artwork there. I'm not going to show the booklet because there's nothing much. Atlantic CD and song titles on the back. Yeah, now as I've mentioned in previous videos, I've always been a fan of AC/DC ever since I was, a kid basically. But the funny thing is, as I get older, I enjoy them more and more. So I'm slowly filling the gaps in the collection. And I have to say about it that my favorite era of the band is this one. So what I mean by that is 1980s era. I think they have the best albums. So I know a lot of people might say, oh, but what about Bon Scott? Yes, of course, I like the Bon Scott albums too, and like High Voltage is a classic and all of those others, but I also I just find, I don't know, with the 80s era of AC/DC, it's just the best riffs, the most rocking, and I think Brian Johnson is a fantastic singer. On that topic, I don't understand why there's a lot of elitists out there who say, oh no, only Bon Scott or nothing, and I just think, really? Really? Like, Brian Johnson, great singer, great guy, give it a chance. But anyway, I like, just for the record, I like all AC/DC, but the 80s era is really fantastic. So I'd never heard this album before, believe it or not, but it's absolutely killer, great album. So obviously with AC/DC, I don't need to describe what the music's like because they have a pretty consistent formula, just great guitar-driven, riff-driven hard rock, very catchy. And this album is no exception, brilliant. It's 10 songs. My favorite songs, I've got 6 of them actually, so my favorite songs on this would be This House is on Fire, Nervous Shakedown, Guns for Hire. Like all of these songs, when I'm saying the titles, I wanted to start singing them. Very catchy choruses, awesome riffs. And then interestingly, for me, the best tracks on the album are the last 3. So Bedlam in Belgium, Badlands, and Brain Shake. Just fantastic, like incredibly catchy, infectious, rocking. It's brilliant. So they're my 6 favorite tracks. And then the other ones I didn't mention, like Landslide or Deep in the Hole, they are also very catchy. So there's no bad songs on this album, just great guitar-driven hard rock from AC/DC. This is Flick of the Switch. If you haven't heard it, check it out. By the way, on that topic, of course Back in Black is a good album, but I agree that it's an overkilled album. Like a lot of good songs on that, which I think are underrated, but like Back in Black, the title track, and You Shook Me All Night Long, especially You Shook Me All Night Long, I wouldn't be upset if I never heard that song again. Back in Black, though, I have to admit, even though I've heard it a million times, whenever I hear it, it's still a good song. But check out the rarer ones from the 80s, because they're fantastic. All right, so up next I have another AC/DC album. This is Stiff Upper Lip from, I believe, 2000 or 2001, I can't remember. So you might have heard me say just before that the 80s era is my favorite. And a lot of people might say, like with a lot of bands, that's the sort of like golden era for this kind of music. But this album is just awesome, like really, really good, solid album, rocking. I like it a lot. So again, if you like AC/DC, you know what to expect, so you're not going to be disappointed. It's basically sticking to the same formula once again. Booklet comes with some liner notes just talking about the album and how it was made and pictures, which I'm yet to read, I have to admit. I've just listened to the album a few times, but it's killer. I really like it. This was an album, speaking of the term killer, I remember Cliff Williams said in an interview, this is one of the band's favorite releases actually, so they really like this album. I can see why, it's sticking to the same formula, but they also try some new things on it, like that song Safe in New York City. It's very sort of fast, you know, AC/DC is usually mid-paced and just got those catchy grooves kind of thing, but Safe in New York City is like a different kind of sound by them, but it's still really good. Now, a lot of really good songs on this. Again, none that I dislike, it's just the ones I happen to like more, but Stiff Upper Lip, the title track, is great, especially the backing vocals at the end of the song. Also, Meltdown, I really enjoy. Hold Me Back, Safe in New York City, as I mentioned, and then perhaps two of the best songs again I find at the end, All Screwed Up and Give It Up. But yeah, as I said, I don't need to describe these songs in detail because you can just go and listen to the album, but you know what AC/DC are like. So this is, what do they say here? So this is the remastered version, so it's got that booklet, and there's also some video clips on this one, which I haven't seen yet, but fantastic solid hard rock. This is AC/DC with Stiff Upper Lip. Alright, now shifting gears to something different. Up next I picked up Tango in the Night by Fleetwood Mac. So, just giving you that so you can see it a little better. Okay, so I'm sure a lot of people are aghast and in shock horror, but in my Guilty Pleasures video, I already explained that I am a fan of Fleetwood Mac. You know, obviously sometimes you've just had a very stressful day, or you want to clear your head and you need something more mellow and chill to listen to. So I do like some Fleetwood Mac, definitely. My favorite album by them is probably Rumours. You know, that's the classic one. But there's a lot of others which are really good, like Tusk, Mirage, and so on. And this one's very good. This one's from the 80s, came out in 87, I think. Yes, 87. So this was the band, after the band had gone through rehab for all the alcohol and drug abuse and everything. But it actually turned out to be a really good album. Definitely got an 80s sound. It spawned quite a few hits, so the hits from this album, I think the most popular one is Everywhere, which is, yeah, that's a little bit sappy, but it's a good song. But yeah, some of my other favorite hits on this song, like Seven Wonders is great. Like the keyboards in that are so highly depressing, but it's depressing but good, if that makes sense. So Seven Wonders is a good track. Also, Little Lies was the other famous hit. That's one of my favorite Fleetwood Mac songs, actually, you know, with the synthesizers, like just great 80s atmosphere and a very reflective song. So really good. And the other hits, I think Big Love was one. Yeah, that's a pretty good song. And yeah, that's about it. But I do like quite a few others on this, like, let's see, Caroline, as I've mentioned in the Guilty Pleasures video, like just great atmospheric, catchy song. It's brilliant. So I would say that's a Lindsey Buckingham song. He sings that one. Brilliant. Also Tango in the Night, sung by Lindsey. That's a very sort of like atmospheric song, which is really good. What else? Family Man, very catchy, very 80s, but that's a great song. And then, yeah, then you've got some more mellow tracks like Mystified and Welcome to the Room, Sarah. Towards the end, I'll say like the last 3 or 4 tracks, it's kind of filler. Those tracks pass me by a little bit, but overall the majority of tracks on this album are really good. So my favorites being, once again, Seven Wonders, Caroline, Tango in the Night, Little Lies, and Family Man. But great stuff. Oh, by the way, I think I showed in the Guilty Pleasures video, I showed my vinyl copy of this, which I bought at a flea market for about $3 US. I paid too much because I came home and it was fucking scratched to shit, and it resembled like a plastic bowl because it had been melted from the sun. So whenever I dropped the needle and Big Love just it skips, and it's really annoying. So it was really good to hear these songs uninterrupted when I got this. So anyway, Fleetwood Mac, Tango in the Night. All right. Up next, coming up to something different for me, Jimi Hendrix Blues. So of course Jimi Hendrix needs no introduction. Brilliant guitarist and founder of the Jimi Hendrix Experience, the psychedelic hard rock band from the 60s. So he was probably along with a few others who were sort of like the roots of heavy metal music when you think about his guitar playing style and so on, like blistering guitar solos. Like that music was unheard of in the 60s. So he influenced a lot of later artists, you know, like Ace Frehley from Kiss was very influenced by Hendrix, as were countless other musicians. So this one, it's a bit different. I'll tell you something about Jimi Hendrix. I've never been a huge fan, to be honest, of all of his stuff. Like some of those famous songs like Purple Haze and Fire, I don't like them. I'll be honest, like I don't like those songs very much. However, there are some other songs he's done which I really enjoy, like Hey Joe, And the Wind Cries Mary, Voodoo Child. You know, like there are a lot. I'm just a bit selective with Jimi Hendrix. But what's cool about this album is it's purely in the blues style. So like it's not that psychedelic 60s rock, but I think he covers some songs by some other artists. Yeah, and he's just written songs, it's all in the blues style, but at the same time with that blistering guitar soloing, which he does, and his unique voice. It's really, really good. I remember back in the 90s, my dad bought a copy of this and he used to play it at home, and even then, when I was younger, I was thinking, oh, only extreme stuff, I've always got to go for that. I remember appreciating this, going, this is really good. Like when I heard that song, Hear My Train Comin', the acoustic one. So sort of my dad was an influence on me to get into Jimi Hendrix, and he was a big blues fan as well. So just show you the disc here. So it's got all of the artists, I think, like blues artists he was inspired by and or collaborated with, and it's got this really cool booklet explaining the background of Jimi Hendrix and the influence of blues on his style and everything. But admittedly, I haven't had the chance to read this yet, but I will soon on a Sunday afternoon, something like that, because it is a fantastic album and it just goes on and on. But yeah, this is very good background music, like on a Sunday, or you know, if you're having a couple of beers, something like that. Just really, really good. Like there's no songs I dislike, but you know, some of my favorites would be Hear My Train Comin', the acoustic and the electric version. Also Voodoo Child Blues, Catfish Blues. Yeah, there's a whole load of great stuff on here, but like just the solos are excellent. It's very retro. It's got that cool vibe. I just really like this stuff, and it's all rooted in blues music. So imagine electrified blues, but brilliant album, Jimi Hendrix Blues. Okay. Now, got two more to show. So the next one, this is something a bit different for me. Again, like not my usual style that I listen to, but Opeth with Morning Rise. Yeah, so for those who know me, you'll know that I like death metal and black metal a lot. This is a little bit different. It's what some people like to call progressive death metal or progressive metal. So it is rooted in that like melodic Swedish death metal style, but obviously they expand on that. There's much longer songs, like Black Rose Immortal is a 20-minute song, To Bid You Farewell is 10 minutes, so it's very proggy in that sense. So they have a lot of mellow acoustic interludes and that kind of thing. And when they're actually playing in that melodic death metal style, it reminds me a bit of Ablaze My Sorrow, actually, which are a great band. So when I heard this, I thought, yeah, it's cool, it's different. I wouldn't say I'm fanatical about this kind of style, but it is interesting for something different. And it's also good if you want sort of a mellow atmosphere with interludes. So yes, glad. And like, this is a band I've always heard. I think I had some recorded burn CDs or tapes and I heard it and I thought, yeah, it's good, but I was never like hugely a fan, but decided to jump on this at a good price. And yes, yeah, I wasn't disappointed. I think this is an album as well that it'll take a few listens to properly digest, but whenever I play it in the background, I really do enjoy it. Yeah, it's not one of those standout track albums to me. It's like it's got this background atmosphere and you can play it and enjoy it, but there are some fantastic moments on it. So if you like melodic death metal with a sort of experimental or progressive twist, I'm sure most of you know this band anyway, but it is a good album. So Opeth with Morning Rise. Okay. And last, but definitely not least, Raoul, if you're watching, I think you'll approve of this one. I picked up Rhapsody of Fire with Triumph or Agony. All right, so comes in this pointless slipcase. Look, oh, there we go, exactly the same. And a glossy digipack. So if you're not familiar, Rhapsody of Fire, formerly known as Rhapsody, they are like a melodic symphonic power metal band from Italy. And it's one of those bands actually where I had always known them, like some friends ages ago, you know, they played this music, and I thought when I was a lot younger, I thought, oh, it's very sort of Dungeons and Dragons-esque and kitschy and cheesy, but like in a sense, that's also fun. And as I've got older, especially with my increased appreciation of power metal, I really do enjoy Rhapsody. I've got one other album, which I can't remember the name now, but I'll talk about that when I get up to it. But I really enjoyed this a lot. Like, look at this artwork, first of all. It's brilliant. It just sets the tone for what's inside. Nice, colourful disc as well. Oh, and speaking of Dungeons and Dragons, there's a dragon, portrait of the band. And it comes with this elaborate, detailed book. So, yeah, got all of the lyrics. This is an absolutely epic album. Like, it goes on and on and on, and there's really long songs, but I'll tell you one thing. Oh, I love that artwork. It's fantastic. So it gives you the story and the background. Again, I've got to read this in more detail. For now, I've just concentrated on the music. Yep, but yeah, really, really enjoyable listen. Again, this is a good background CD, I find, like if you're busy doing something around the house, because it's really epic and energetic. But basically, what sets Rhapsody apart, or Rhapsody of Fire, apart from other power metal bands, is that it's very, very symphonic. So there are a lot of classical elements to this music. So I'm not saying like Dimmu Borgir symphonic, but actually classical instruments, you know, like violins, cellos, string instruments, brass instruments, choral vocals, operatic vocals, and it's just really, really good. So very epic and atmospheric. And like, as I said, these songs, like the song The Mystic Prophecy of the Demon's Night, that's 16 minutes and 26 seconds, and it's divided into 5 parts. So there's a lot of interludes and spoken word sections telling a story. And when I'm in the mood for this kind of thing, this kind of like fantasy world, epic metal, I really do enjoy it. So this one is really good. I've heard it a few times and I just haven't got bored of it. So again, it's not really a standout track album, but just like an overall listen, it's fantastic. But all I can say is, if you enjoy power metal, especially over-the-top power metal, you will like this album. Even if you just enjoy classical music, you will enjoy this album. So if you enjoy power metal and classical music, essential. It's a brilliant album. So that's Rhapsody of Fire with Triumph or Agony. Alright, so believe it or not, that's the end of this update. 6 CDs and I got through it faster than I thought I would, so I'm sure people are relieved about that. So I'll be back again soon with the next video. I think I'm going to enter Raoul's 300 subs competition, so that will be a video coming soon. And of course, with my existing collection, there's still more to talk about, but I hope you join me for the next video. So let me know in the comments, what do you think of these albums and bands? Any other albums by those bands you would recommend to me, that kind of thing. I always appreciate comments and discussion. So thanks a lot, guys, for watching. If you liked the video, please leave me a thumbs up to show me some support. If you enjoyed the video and you haven't subscribed yet, please consider subscribing, and that would be great. Okay, so in the meantime, stay safe, take care, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.